I remember going in for the ultrasound. I start to see these little circles inside the kidney. I knew what it was, and I started to cry.
You have kidney disease, you're stage 5.
I went from maybe I'll never need a transplant to 6 months.
I did not automatically feel awesomely better, and it took me months to recover.
They put this thing in you, it's going to make everything better, and you get a week out, and it's working great. You get 2 weeks out, you're like, wow.
I feel like getting the kidney is probably the easy part.
The minute they put it in, your body is trying to kill it.
They start you out on a really high dose of drugs, and then they lower it, and they lower it, and they lower it, and they lower it. They wait for you to get sick. And then when they get sick, that's when they know he went too low.
28 different pills that I'm taking, which is just extremely caustic. They have to prescribe other pills to stabilize my mood.
Your body wrapping itself around a ton of new medications that can have terrible side effects.
Basically, we're managing a patient and we have no idea as to whether they have enough anti-rejection medication on board or too much.
I think it took me 2 years until my med levels were pretty stable.
First month, I get a call, they do a biopsy.
So they literally go in with a gigantic needle.
It's just so invasive. It's like, let me have an organ of yours and let me puncture it with a tube 3 times.
And they're taking a piece of your kidney that was just given to you that you want to protect with all of your might.
It's barbaric.
Anytime you do that to an organ, it can't be good. But I didn't have a choice, and right? Like, they needed to make sure this one was working.
There has been no advance in how we manage a kidney transplant patient in the past 25 years. And so we're willing instead to biopsy 100 patients so that we can pick it up in 20 or 25% of patients, and then in a way apologize to the other 75 or 80% of patients for having subjected them to an invasive biopsy that sometimes can cause serious complications, including potentially the loss of the kidney.
I read this article about biomarkers in transplantation.
And all of a sudden this call.
I asked them the question, is this a solved problem?
Yes, we have this test, but we're trying to figure out how to get it available.
They could continue writing grants and get support and do groundbreaking research.
It took us 8 years to show that this test works.
But they were never going to change patients' lives unless they get them into patients' hands.
I told you that you can. For the majority of patients, you throw away the biopsy needle and instead get a couple of drops of blood.
Having this test, you get an early warning sign as to whether or not you're rejecting or not. You don't have to wait to get sick. You're going in, you're giving blood, it's no big deal. It's part of your routine life.
There's no question on anyone's mind that there's a desperate need for a test like this.
And over 200,000 people walking around with kidney transplants. It's going to take rallying them behind this and demanding that this be treated like an orphan drug, not just kind of shoved to the back of the line and go through the whole bureaucracy.
I thought we were going to have flying cars in 2018. And there's so many different advancements in other fields. Why are we doing stuff from like the 80s with transplants?